Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here to break down the 9-game NBA main slate on Monday. A couple of things before I get into the video. If you're new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos talking about NBA DFS as well as NFL and XFL DFS. Also here to announce the winner to the weekly $20 PayPal giveaway. So the winner is Grigo YTU. Congrats on winning. Either hit me up in the YouTube comment section or on Twitter. I can make sure to get you that $20 PayPal. But yeah, how this giveaway works, guys, is all you have to do is a like and a comment in the video. That's one interested in the giveaway. Max one comment left per video. So we'll start with this video right here. Go throughout the week. We'll end my Monday NBA video at the end of the week. So however many videos I've uploaded for the week, you can end the giveaway that many times. If I have 10 videos uploaded for the week, you can end the giveaway 10 times. And again, winner receives $20 PayPal for myself. With that out of the way, let's jump in the video. So first, let's look back at my lineup here from Sunday night. Okay, so Sunday night, my the core plays I gave you guys were Joel Embiid, 64 fantasy points, 8.2. He was just criminally underpriced. I'm surprised he was only 55% owned in this contest. I thought he was going to be the absolute chalk. Yeah, take that all day for 8.2, 64 fantasy points. Mike Conley. I believe he was 5.4K, 35 fantasy points, more than enough there. Paul George, we got a little bit unlucky here. Cleveland just got absolutely destroyed, lost by like 50 points. He did not get any fourth quarter run, so he got limited a bit, but still 40 fantasy points in 3 quarters. You got to think if he gets the his full 4 quarters of run, probably gets close to 60. And then Whiteside, okay start there, 15 fantasy points in the first half. Expected a little bit more, but we'll see how it ends up. Other guys in my lineup, John Morant, he was pretty cheap. He hadn't had a good game in like 4 or 5 games, but this is a spot where I was like, maybe this is the breakout John Morant game. 29% owned, 62 fantasy points at 6.2K. He absolutely crushed it. One guy that's letting me down right now is Kendrick Nunn. Really tilted about it, to be honest. He's like 2 of 11. Just shooting the ball absolutely terrible. The minutes have been there. It's a good spot. He is just, hopefully he can pick it up here in the second half. Josh Jackson didn't get as many minutes as I thought he would. I believe only played 14 minutes. He was a flat min, though. It kind of worked out just because I wanted to fit a lot of these studs in my lineup. So, yeah, I mean, I was okay taking a shot there. Triple J, I believe he's 5.8K, 32 fantasy points. That's solid. But yeah, right now, I'm like on the money line. I'm like a few points off for tournaments, and I have Nunn and Whiteside. So hopefully those guys can push me into the cash for the tournaments. I think I should be okay just because John Morant was huge, but we'll see. As long as Kendrick Nunn actually gets me like 20 fantasy points, like something not terrible, I should be okay. So yeah, that basically wraps it up for Sunday. Got a lot of DMs. Looks like a lot of you guys are winning some good money as well. So hopefully you guys all had a good night, and let's see if we can keep it going for Monday slate. Let me go to the lobby. All right, again, 9 games. Let's take a look at the numbers that we have out right now. For the 9 games out right now, we have Nets, Pacers, 220. The Pacers are 7-point favorites. The Jazz and the Mavs, it's a 222 over-under. Looks like it's a pick 'em right now. Spurs, Nuggets, 221.5. The Nuggets are 7.5-point favorites. And then we have a late night hammer, Suns, Lakers, 228.5, 12.5-point favorites the Lakers are. We'll start at the top with center, as always. Currently, Towns, 10.5. Against Toronto, I mean, there is no Marcus Gasol, so that is a slight boost to Towns, but I don't see myself getting to him as a spend up on this slate. I think I just like other plays more as far as spend ups go. So Towns, fine for GPPs, but not going to the way that I go. Like, I would prefer getting to Anthony Davis at 10.3, much better spot against Phoenix. The concern here is, there is a little bit of ball risk, right? It's a 12.5-point spread. We have DeAndre Ayton currently listed as questionable. If he can't go, Phoenix front court's going to be pretty thin. So, yeah, Anthony Davis right now at 10.3 I think does stand out. The concern is, the potential for a blowout. Got to like Jokic as well, 10.2. He has been on an absolute tear right now. Kind of an off game last game against Phoenix, 34 minutes, 48 fantasy points. Still like his upside here, even with Millsap back. I think he is certainly in play as a spend up. Sabonis, 9.6. He just seems I just don't think I can do it for cash games. He can still have upset at this price for sure, but I can't do it for cash. Ayton, again, this is big news. He is currently listed as questionable. If he can't go, I think Cheat Diallo would become one of the better value plays of the day. It would probably be my favorite value play if he would start. So we got to keep an eye on Ayton's status there. Vucevic is a really good match against Atlanta. The issue is the price, right? 8.9. I could definitely still see him getting you there at this price, but he's no longer in that like low 8K range, so it makes it a little bit tricky. Now again, really good spot against Atlanta, so I could definitely see getting to Vucevic there. John Collins, so that Atlanta-New York game was crazy, double overtime. He had played 50 minutes. This is a back-to-back too, so I could see them limiting him. It's a tough spot too, so I don't think I can get to John Collins there. Porzingis at 8.4. Super tilted about the game on Friday because he was just crushing it in 21 minutes, had 30 fantasy points. He was just he could not keep his hands to himself. There's some bad, questionable calls, in my opinion, on him. Yeah, with no Luka, and his upside is through the roof. We've seen it, almost 60 fantasy points the last 3 games. So even in a bad spot against Utah, I still have a good amount of interest in Porzingis. Just gotta hope he doesn't get in foul trouble again. Bam and Adebayo 8.2. Jimmy Butler's status is up in the air. If he misses, I think Bam would be viable. Siakam at 8.1 is fine, but I think I like some other Toronto plays a little bit more. Let's see, Christian Wood. So right now he's playing the drum in minutes. 35 and 37 minutes the last couple of games, and that last game John Henson did play. So looks like Christian Wood is going to be in for big minutes. I really like him here against Charlotte. We've been wanting to target bigs against the Hornets all year, so even at 7.2K, I think Christian Wood is still very viable. I do like him a good amount here. Aldridge at 7.1, fine. I don't know. Are they going to be able to run him against Jokic, or are they going to maybe run Jakob Poeltl a bit more? We'll see. I think he's just okay. Doesn't really stand out there. Now, Ibaka at 6.5 does stand out to me. We have Gasol already ruled out. Karl-Anthony Towns not a good defender. He had kind of an off game last game, 32 minutes, 25 fantasy points, but the price dropped a bit. I do like him a good amount here in the mid-range as mid-range center. We have Holmes and Bagley already out, so I'll talk about Harry Giles in a bit, who did get extended finally. They were really limiting Giles' minutes, but looks like Harry Giles is going to be a viable punt option as well. Marquise Chris, 5.8. Golden State is super thin. He had an amazing game, 27 minutes, 45 fantasy points. He's fine, but again, I feel like it's kind of chasing if you go to him. Jared Allen's minutes went down, can't do that. Not going to pay 5.3K for Lopez. Miles Turner, again, he kind of has to get blocks to get you there. I'll probably pass there. Cody Zeller, 4.8. The minutes are always so hard to predict for these secondary Charlotte guys, so probably not for me. Now, Jeremy Grant actually do have some interest at 4.6, even with Paul Millsap back. He's played 30 minutes the last couple games, so if he's going to continue to start, I think he's a viable, cheap option, right? He's not going to play, 40 minutes a game. But I think he'll probably get around 30 or so at 4.6. I think he makes for a viable, cheap option. Cauley-Stein, Kleber, not with Porzingis back. Now, Dwayne Dedmon did actually play a lot of minutes tonight. Now, right, it went to double overtime, but still played 33 minutes. So if Dedmon's going to be a viable part of this rotation at 4.4, I think he is certainly in play as a cheap option. Even a guy like PJ Washington at 4.4. Played 29 minutes the last game, didn't shoot the ball necessarily well, but 21 fantasy points. I think he is in play as a cheaper option. Thon Maker started, played 29 minutes. Even with Henson back, looks like Thon Maker's going to get some decent run. I'm okay with him as a value play. Howard's minutes went down. I can't do that. Lyles, I'll pass. Markieff Morris looks like he is probable, so we'll see what they end up doing with the starting lineup, if they move him to the starting lineup or if they continue to start Thon Maker. If they move Markieff Morris into the starting lineup, I think he is definitely a play that I would have some interest in as far as value goes, because probably get mid-20s minutes from him. So, we got to keep an eye on what they do with that starting lineup. John Henson, he came off the bench, played 18 minutes, shot the ball really well. He's fine as a cheaper option, but don't know if I really can recommend that with confidence. Now, Harry Giles. So the issue with him was with just the minutes. Even when a lot of guys have been out, 17, 13, 14, got 28 minutes the last game at San Antonio. Everyone's out. All the bigs are out once again for Sacramento. So if Harry Giles is going to get mid-20s minutes, I really like him at this price. Don't know if we can expect that again because Luke Walton's rotations have been a little bit inconsistent, but 3.5K. I think he's a very viable dart throw here for sure. Let's see. Other options. Yeah, I mean, like maybe Jakob Poeltl. I think there's an outside chance they could start him to defend Jokic. We'll see. If that's the case, I would like him a good amount at that price. We do have Giannis questionable with personal reasons. If he can't go, that would obviously change the whole slate. Ersan, Bledsoe, Milton would be my priorities there. So this is strictly dependent on Giannis news right now. And I'd assume they would start Ersan because they have started him the last few games when Giannis has been out. Aaron Baines, I guess there's a chance he could play. If DeAndre Ayton is out and Baines is available to play, it's not going to be limited. I would love him at this price. But if Ayton can't go and Baines can't go, Phoenix has like no big. So Cheat Diallo would be one of my favorite plays here at 3.1K. We know the Lakers run big, so I think he would have to play big minutes. He's a pretty productive guy when he gets the time. So there are some viable punt options down here for sure. A guy like Diallo, a guy like Giles to save some money. I think that basically wraps up, though. So let's move on to power forward. And the big news is Giannis, questionable with personal reasons. We'll see. If he's available to play, I think he's always viable as a spend up. If he can't go, Bledsoe, Middleton, Ersan, if Ersan does start for Giannis. Other options like a Kelly Oubre would have to do more offensively. Whoops. If DeAndre Ayton can't go. If your guy's going to target like LeBron or Anthony Davis, and you feel confident this game stays close, then maybe run it back to one of those Phoenix guys, whether it be Oubre, whether it be Devin Booker. Aaron Gordon. So Orlando's normally a team I don't have a whole lot of interest in, but this is a spot I do like a good amount here. 38, 31, 34, 32 minutes. Now, shot the ball terrible last game. 2 of 12, still put up 27 fantasy points, and this is one of the best spots against Atlanta. So I have a good amount of interest in Aaron Gordon, one of my favorite plays here in the mid-range. Miles Bridges at 6.2. He's been playing big minutes, 37, 35, 39, 36 minutes. You know, the price tag is up, but I think he is certainly in play right now just because he's playing huge minutes. Other options, we're not going to chase that Harrison Barnes game at 5.1. Eric Pascal at 5.1. If he starts, I think he would be a viable, mid-range play. Let's see. Yeah, so a guy like Jay Crowder, he's actually got some decent run tonight. Let me look at Miami's rotations really quick for tonight because Jay Crowder has been getting some decent run off the bench. He has played, let's see if I can bring it up. So he's played 16 minutes off the bench in the first half. Dragic 15, Iguodala 8, Silva 9. So yeah, I think Jay Crowder, if he's going to come off the bench and play like 25, 30 minutes at 4.5K against Golden State, certainly in play as a value option. Let's see. Juancho Hernan-Gomez started at the 4, got some decent run, played 27 minutes. I think he's a viable punt if he's going to continue to start, right? 3.6K. That seems too cheap for a starting power forward. Yeah, I think that basically wraps it up for power forwards. Let's move on to small forward. Again, LeBron at the top. Him, AD look pretty appealing here in a juicy spot against Phoenix. The issue is the potential for a blowout, right? We have Ayton status up in the air. If he can't go, I think there's a better chance the game blows out. But I'm fine getting to one of those guys. I think I would lean AD, but it's close. Wiggins is going to be a black hole for Golden State. Now, he did have a good game. Shot the ball 8 of 12, but yeah, they really don't have a whole lot of offensive firepower on this team right now, so Wiggins is probably going to shoot the ball a ton. I guess I'm okay with him for GPPs. You guys know I do not like Andrew Wiggins, but I get it if you want to go there. Karis LeVert, you literally have to take into consideration what he's been doing with Kyrie out. 32, 27, 33 minutes, 45, 39, and 51 fantasy points. Can he keep this up is the question. The price tag is rising, but is it rising enough right now? I don't know. Like, if you're a guy that likes riding hot streaks, I'm okay getting the LeVert here, even at this price, because him and Dinwiddie are the main catalysts in the offense, and no Kyrie, that's a lot of usage to go around, and he's getting the minutes, right? About 30 minutes a game. So I am certainly fine with LeVert here at 7K. Other options, like Buddy Hield had a big game last game. It's just so hard to trust these minutes. 20, 36, 32. More in play for GPPs because I don't know if I can trust those Sacramento rotations. Let's see. Will Barton once again out, so that's more usage for the Denver offense. I'm not going to chase that Jeremy Lamb game. Honestly, not a whole lot I'm super excited about here. Like Derrick Jones Jr., don't want to deal with Andre Iguodala and Jay Crowder playing. At this range of guys, I'm really not super excited about. Jordan Poole is viable at 4K. And I like the value for Golden State just because they're really, really thin. Him, a guy like Kai Bowman, I think are certainly viable. The issue with Jordan Poole is he is very scoring dependent, if you guys didn't know that. I think that basically wraps up for small forwards. So let's move on to shooting guard. Again, Booker, if DeAndre Ayton can't go, that is a lot of usage to go around. And if you're going to target one of those Lakers big or main guys, whether it be LeBron or AD, I don't think it's the worst idea to run it back with Booker or Oubre or maybe like a value play like Cheat Diallo, right? Like if Ayton misses and Aaron Baines can't go, Cheat Diallo would be probably my favorite value play just because they really don't have any other bigs they can use. But yeah, Devin Booker at this price, I think is certainly in play, especially if DeAndre Ayton can't go. Now, Dinwiddie, again, him and LeVert are the main catalysts in this offense. He had a couple bad games, but bounced back in a big way there against Toronto. 36 minutes, 49 fantasy points. So upside is definitely here. It's not really the best spot, but I get it if you want to go to Dinwiddie. Again, him and LeVert's prices are coming up, though. Jimmy Butler, we don't know his status. He was ruled out for this game tonight, so we'll see. If he can't go, then that opens up more minutes for or not necessarily more minutes, more opportunity for Kendrick Nunn, Goran Dragic. Fred VanVleet, this is kind of dependent on Kyle Lowry news. If Kyle Lowry can't go, I think Fred VanVleet is certainly viable. The issue is the price tag came up to 7.6K, no longer the great value when he was under 7K. Derrick Rose is, I guess he's questionable if he can't go. Obviously, Reggie Jackson, that's a boost to him. He'll play big minutes. Again, Christian Wood is going to play big minutes no matter what, in my opinion. So those two guys in the Detroit offense are going to have to do a lot. Terry Rozier, he's kind of frustrating to roster, but 6.3K is pretty cheap. And this is a spot where I could see him having an upside game. Detroit not very good defensively. You could run a nice little game stack here. Run like a Terry Rozier or maybe Devontae Graham, run it back like Reggie Jackson, Christian Wood. Yeah, I mean, those guys are all priced in the mid-range, so that's certainly viable. Got Nunn. Hopefully he can pick it up for me tonight. Had a terrible first half. Him, Dragic are guys I would consider if Jimmy Butler can't go. Fournier's all right. I'm just not a big Evan Fournier guy. I would much prefer getting to Aaron Gordon at a similar price point. The Dallas guards, with everyone healthy, I'll pass. Terrence Davis, I was really high on him the other night. I believe it was Saturday. With Lowry out, 30 minutes, 35 fancy points. If Kyle Lowry's out again and Terrence Davis is going to start, I think he is viable because this guy has upside. We've seen it, right? He can put up numbers in a short amount of time. In that game against Chicago, he came off the bench, put up 40 fancy points. So the upside is there. It's a really good spot. So I would consider him as a value option if Kyle Lowry is not able to go. Other options here, let's see. Malik Beasley had a massive game in that last game. Started, played 29 minutes, 48 fancy points. Now that kind of seems like an outlier, but I also said the Furkan Korkmaz game was an outlier, and then he came out and did it again. So you never really know. 4.5K, I still think there is some meat on the bone if he's going to start just because this guy is pretty aggressive offensively as well. He's going to try to shoot the ball a lot. Jordan Clarkson had a really big game as well. The stats aren't up yet, but I think he had 30 real-life points. I would prefer getting to Conley for an extra $1,000. Now, Victor Oladipo, I actually like a lot here at 4.2. This is just too cheap. I know it's been rusty, hasn't been playing well, but the minutes have been creeping up. I think we probably get around 30 from him. Good spot. And an upside game is going to come from him soon. And this price is just too cheap. Like I could see if Victor Oladipo shoots the ball well, I could see him put up 40 fancy points. So one of my favorite plays here at 4.2K. I know he's been rusty, but at this price, I'm willing to take a shot. Other options, let's see. Not a whole lot I think I'm interested in down here. Yeah, I think I think that really wraps it up. So let's move on to point guard. And no Luka, so obviously Porzingis have to do a lot offensively. Trae Young, double overtime game, played big 48 minutes. Not really the best spot, but Trae Young is almost matchup proof. So you could look to him as a contrarian option. Don't think I'd go there for cash. D'Angelo Russell is currently assessed questionable. If he can't go, a guy like Jordan McLaughlin would become a cheaper option for sure. So yeah, we got to keep an eye on his status. If he plays at 8.7, yeah, I'll probably pass. Let's see. Again, Kyle Lowry, his status is up in the air. If he can't go, Fred VanVleet and a guy like Terrence Davis would become very viable. Devontae Graham, 7.1, I think is in play. Good spot. Had 50 fantasy points at last game. You could run a nice mini game stack here, right? Like a Terry Rozier, Devontae Graham, run it back with Reggie and Christian Wood. I don't think that's the worst idea. You know, two teams that don't play a whole lot of defense. Jamal Murray, I know the price is coming up, but I still think he is in play. Now, I don't think we can expect 14 of 17 shooting, but yeah, he's playing big minutes, right? 43 and 35 last couple games. I think we'd probably get mid-30s minutes from him. Not really scared of San Antonio defense. So even at an elevated price point, I think Jamal Murray is definitely viable. Don't mind Malcolm Brogdon either, 6.9. I think he's a pretty safe option. We'd probably get low to mid-30s minutes from him. He's a guy that gets peripheral stats. Bledsoe, this is strictly dependent on Giannis, right? If Giannis can't go and Ersan starts, it's Ersan, Bledsoe, Middleton are my priorities. Let's see, Reggie Jackson, kind of dependent on Derrick Rose news. If Derrick Rose can't go, him, Christian Wood are going to be the main catalyst of the offense, so I would like him a decent amount there if D. Rose is not available. None, Dragic, again, that's kind of dependent on Jimmy Butler news. Those are the guys I would look to if Jimmy Butler is unavailable. Mike Conley, he was included in my core tonight, had a big game. I think he had 35 fantasy points at 5.4. I think I'm going to go right back to the well here. As long as they don't rest him, I guess it is a back-to-back, so there's a chance they could rest him, but yeah, this is just too cheap right now. He's playing really, really good basketball. So I really like Mike Conley once again at 5.5. If he's going to be available and not be limited, I think I'm going to go right back to the well. Now, Jordan McLaughlin, this is strictly dependent on D'Lo news. If D'Lo is unavailable to go, I still think Jordan McLaughlin, I think this price tag will scare people off, but I think he's certainly in play. 37 minutes of last game. Had 24, 11, and 4. Again, I talked about this guy. He has upside. We saw it in the Summer League. So if D'Angelo Russell can't go and he starts at point guard, I think he is certainly in play, even at this price point. Other options, again, you guys know I really like Oladipo. Kai Bowman, if he's going to start again, I think he's a really solid value player, 4.2. Golden State just, they don't have a whole lot of healthy bodies right now. Rondo's always viable punt option. His minutes and production are so up and down, though. I think that basically, so a guy like Jeremy Park, like these guys from Golden State are, you know, available. I think Norvell actually got some decent run. Yeah, he gets 17 minutes. You could always take a shot there. I don't think they're going to play huge minutes, but yeah. All right, I think that basically wraps up. So again, going through these games really quick one more time. Brooklyn and Indiana. On the Brooklyn side, it's LeVert and Dinwiddie for me. Their prices are up. I still think they are viable. On the Pacers side, not a whole lot. I think Malcolm Brogdon, I guess, would be my favorite play there in the mid-range, but not super, super excited about that. Atlanta, it's kind of Trae Young for me, and that's it, but more of a contrarian option. On the Orlando side, I really like Aaron Gordon, one of my favorite plays in the mid-range. Also have some interest in Vucevic, but his price is up. Charlotte, Detroit, I think Rozier, Devontae Graham, P.J. Washington, even Miles Bridges are definitely viable. On the Detroit side, kind of dependent on news, right? If D. Rose can't go, I think Reggie Jackson makes for a solid play. Christian Wood, I think, is going to play big minutes no matter what. If Markieff Morris ends up starting, I think he's a viable punt option. Minnesota, Toronto, we're kind of waiting on the D'Angelo Russell news. If he's unavailable, I think Jordan McLaughlin makes a pretty solid play. If Hernan Gomez is going to start once again, he's a viable punt option as well. Toronto, we're waiting on Kyle Lowry news. If Kyle Lowry can't go, I think Fred VanVleet, Terrence Davis, those guys are definitely viable. I do like Serge Ibaka as a mid-tier center as well there at 6.5. Sacramento, Milwaukee, I think Harry Giles is a pretty solid value option. I think he probably plays anywhere between 15 to 25. If he hits that higher end, like 25, I think he can absolutely crush that salary. On the Milwaukee side, we're waiting on Giannis news. If he can't go, it's Ersan if he starts for him, and then Bledsoe and Middleton. Utah, Dallas, I think I'm going to go right back to the well with Conley if he's available to play. Again, I think there's maybe a chance it could rest him as a back-to-back. If that's the case, obviously like Jordan Clarkson, Donovan Mitchell become more viable. On the Dallas side, kind of Porzingis for me, and that's it. Even in a tough spot, I think his upside is still pretty high. with no Luka. On the Spurs, not a whole lot I'm super excited about. I think, Jakob Poeltl, I think there's an outside chance they might start him to guard Jokic. If that's the case, I would like him a good amount as a value option. On the Denver side, I think Jamal Murray's price is up, but he's still viable. Jokic has to spend up as well. He's been playing really, really good basketball. Even Jeremy Grant, if he continues to start, I think is certainly viable as at 4.6. Miami Golden State, we're waiting on Jimmy Butler news. If he's unavailable, none. Dragic will become more viable. Even a guy like Jay Crowder who's making some decent run off the bench. On the Golden State side, Wiggins, I guess, is in play. He's going to shoot the ball a ton. But I think my favorite plays would probably be a guy like Kai Bowman, even like a Jordan Poole. I think they're going to get some decent run as cheaper options. Phoenix and the Lakers, we're waiting on DeAndre Ayton news. If DeAndre Ayton can't go, Cheat Diallo will become one of my favorite value plays. But that's dependent on Aaron Baines' status as well. So we got to keep an eye on that. Obviously, if Ayton can't go, that's more usage for Booker and Oubre, who I think would become viable if you want to run it back with one of those Lakers guys, whether it be Anthony Davis or LeBron. As far as value for the Lakers, I guess Rondo's always in play, but his production is so up and down. I think that's going to do it, though, for today's video, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content, would really appreciate if you would like this video and subscribe. Again, if you want to get entered in the giveaway, all you have to do is a like and a comment in the video. Let's run into the giveaway. I will be live streaming for this 9-game slate 45 minutes before lock, so be sure to check out the live stream, guys. I'll be live streaming on my YouTube channel, going over all the news we get, kind of going game-by-game breakdown, give you guys my core cash game plays, and then answering any questions you guys have. But yeah, thanks again for everyone coming to check out the video. I really do appreciate it. I will see you guys all tomorrow in the live stream.